The film opens in a chaotic scene, a violent shootout that leaves the streets littered with bodies and destruction. Among the carnage is Philip, a mysterious man played by Jean-Claude Van Damme, who is severely wounded. Clinging to life, he is rushed to a nearby hospital by emergency responders. His appearance is grim. He's covered in blood, with injuries indicating he's been through something catastrophic. At the hospital, Suzanne, an experienced yet seemingly ordinary nurse, is assigned to care for him. Unbeknownst to her, the man she's attending to is far from an average patient. As Suzanne tends to his wounds, she notices peculiarities: military-grade injuries, surgical scars from prior battles, and the air of someone who's lived through unimaginable violence. But Suzanne, like everyone else at the hospital, assumes he's just another victim of gang violence, perhaps in the wrong place at the wrong time. While Philip is being treated, a larger and more dangerous plot begins to unfold. Unbeknownst to the hospital staff, a team of highly trained and heavily armed assassins, led by the cold and calculating Radovan, arrives at the hospital with the singular goal: to kill Philip before he recovers. Radovan is ruthless, driven by personal and professional reasons, and he commands his men with an iron fist. Their plan is methodical. They are determined to eliminate Philip without drawing unnecessary attention. However, things quickly spiral out of control. The assassins force their way into the hospital, killing security personnel and beginning a bloody assault on anyone who stands in their way. Suzanne, along with the other staff and patients, is caught in the middle of the carnage, not understanding why these men have come or what they want. The hospital, which should have been a place of healing, becomes a deadly battlefield. As Philip regains consciousness, he realizes what is happening and knows that he is the target. Despite his injuries, his instincts kick in. He is no ordinary man. He is a highly trained operative, skilled in combat and survival. With limited strength but lethal precision, Philip starts to defend himself, taking down Radovan's men one by one. His survival depends on his ability to outthink and outfight his enemies in the narrow, confined spaces of the hospital. Suzanne, initially in shock, is forced into action. She is no soldier, but as the only one who understands Philip's medical condition, she becomes his reluctant ally. Her compassion as a nurse conflicts with the violent reality surrounding her. But as she watches Philip fight for his life, she begins to realize that this man is not just a random victim. He's at the center of something far bigger. As the hospital fills with smoke, gunfire, and bloodshed, Suzanne and Philip form an uneasy partnership, with Suzanne helping him navigate the labyrinth of hospital corridors and Philip providing the muscle needed to survive. In the midst of all this chaos, the movie reveals its deeper layers through flashbacks. The audience learns that Philip is a former international operative, once involved in a covert mission that went horribly wrong. He had been part of an elite task force sent to take down a powerful criminal organization. However, during the operation, he was betrayed by his own people, including Radovan, who was once an ally but had turned rogue for personal gain. This betrayal is at the heart of the plot. Philip's former allies had left him for dead, assuming he wouldn't survive. But he did. And he spent years in hiding, plotting his revenge. His return to the world of violence was inevitable, and now that he's been found, his enemies are determined to finish what they started. As Philip and Suzanne continue to fight off the assassins, the truth about the international crime syndicate starts to unravel. It is a massive network involved in everything from arms trafficking to political assassinations, and Philip had once been tasked with bringing it down. However, the deeper Philip got into this world, the more he realized that corruption extended far beyond the criminal underworld. Government agencies, powerful businessmen, and even law enforcement had all been compromised, and Philip's mission became more dangerous than he could have ever imagined. Back in the present, the hospital siege intensifies. Radovan, furious that his men are being picked off, takes matters into his own hands. His connection to Philip is personal. Radovan was not only involved in the betrayal, but also played a key role in framing Philip, ensuring that he would be hunted by both sides of the law. Now, Radovan's only concern is silencing Philip before he can expose the entire operation. Suzanne, caught in the crossfire, starts to question everything she knows. She is horrified by the violence but begins to understand that Philip is not just a killer. He's a man seeking justice for unspeakable wrongs. Her role changes from being a mere bystander to an active participant in Philip's fight for survival. As the film reaches its climax, Philip confronts Radovan in a brutal and emotionally charged showdown. The two men have a history, and their final battle is not just about survival, but about revenge, betrayal, and redemption. In a series of high-octane fight scenes, Philip uses all of his combat skills to bring down Radovan and his men. Each blow carries the weight of years of suffering and vengeance. The hospital, now a war zone, serves as the perfect backdrop for the climax. Philip's journey has come full circle. Once a man betrayed and left for dead, he now emerges victorious, having destroyed the syndicate that wronged him. But the victory comes at a cost. The film ends with Philip walking away from the hospital, his body battered, but his mission complete. Suzanne, forever changed by the ordeal, watches him go, understanding that she has witnessed only a small part of a much larger story. The movie closes on a somber note, with Philip's past still shrouded in mystery. But one thing is clear, his thirst for vengeance has been quenched, and those who wronged him have paid the ultimate price. Disappointing, especially given the talent involved both on and off screen. While it's always a thrill to see Van Damme in action, the film fell flat, lacking the energy you'd expect. Some solid fight scenes couldn't compensate for a weak script and questionable directional decisions. What went wrong is unclear. Director Peter Malota, despite making his debut, has a strong background in stunts and has worked on several Van Damme films, so he should know what makes an action movie tick. However, Kill 'Em All suffers from unnecessary flashbacks that drag down the pacing, something you'd never want in a Van Damme film. The supporting cast, including Peter Stormare, Maria Conchita Alonso, and Daniel Bernhardt, should have elevated the film beyond standard direct-to-video fare. Sadly, they were mostly underused. While Van Damme does get a showdown with Bernhardt, it feels too little too late. This fight should have a standout moment, especially since Bernhardt made his name by replacing Van Damme in the Bloodsport series. Overall, Kill 'Em All delivers what fans of Jean-Claude Van Damme crave, with intense gunfights, neck-snapping action, and plenty of signature roundhouse kicks. It hit the mark for me. While the constant shifts between interrogation scenes and action sequences felt a bit jarring, it all ties together by the end. Unsurprisingly, Kill 'Em All is definitely worth checking out. Thank you very much for watching the whole video. And if you have a movie or TV show that you want us to cover, just comment it down below. We'll make a video of it in the future. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out our playlist for more recaps.